money paradox. Why more doesn't always mean happier. In the grand theater of human existence, few topics spark as much debate, contemplation, and introspection as the intricate dance between money and happiness. Have you ever heard the saying, money is the root of all evil? Well, the truth is a little more complex. Is money really evil, or is it the lack of it that causes problems? And more importantly, does having a ton of cash guarantee you'll be happy? These are questions that have been puzzling people for ages, and there's no easy answer. On the one hand, money can buy you security and freedom. It can give you access to healthcare, education, and the finer things in life. But on the other hand, the pursuit of wealth can be all-consuming, leaving you stressed and unhappy. This whole thing, where money seems to be both good and bad, is what some folks call the money paradox. It's a fancy way of saying that the relationship between money and happiness is complicated. Buckle up, because we're about to dive into this fascinating topic. Ever heard the saying, money can't buy happiness? It's a classic idea, meaning that real joy comes from deep connections, and having a reason to get out of bed in the morning, not just fancy cars or big houses. But hold on. There's another side to the story. Imagine a life free from money worries, where you can chase your dreams without financial stress. That sounds pretty amazing, right? The truth is probably somewhere in between these two ideas. It all depends on how we see the world, and what's truly important to us. This whole money versus happiness thing is a bit of a brain teaser, what some call the money paradox. It basically means the link between wealth and well-being is pretty darn complicated. Let's untangle this fascinating question together. Imagine traveling back in time and having a chat with famous thinkers from history. Some of these ancient philosophers, like Epicurus from Greece, had interesting ideas about happiness. Epicurus believed that happiness wasn't about having a ton of stuff. Instead, he thought it was more about enjoying simple pleasures in a balanced way, like spending time with loved ones or relaxing in nature. According to Epicurus, there are two types of desires, essential desires and desires that are just a waste of time. Essential desires are things like having enough food to eat and a roof over your head. These desires make us feel happy and secure. But then there are those other desires, like the urge for the latest expensive gadget or trendy clothes. Epicurus argued that these desires can actually lead to unhappiness, because they're never satisfied and can cause stress. So, how can we find happiness according to Epicurus? By focusing on those essential desires and learning to be content with what we have. It's about living a simple life and appreciating the good things around us, like good friends, good food, and a bit of peace and quiet. This way of thinking might sound strange at first, but it's a philosophy that's been around for centuries, and it might just hold the key to a happier life. Another ancient thinker named Schopenhauer weighed in on the happiness debate. He had a different perspective on wealth altogether. Schopenhauer wasn't impressed by fancy cars or big houses. He believed true wealth came from your mind, not your stuff. For Schopenhauer, the best things in life weren't things you could buy. He thought the greatest pleasures came from learning new things, expanding your knowledge, and exploring your inner world. Time, not money, was the most valuable resource we have. Spending time on activities that enrich your mind and spirit, that's where real happiness lies, according to Schopenhauer. Both Epicurus and Schopenhauer challenge us to rethink how we view wealth and happiness. They suggest that maybe happiness isn't about having a lot of stuff, but about finding peace and fulfillment in simpler things. Maybe it's about enjoying good company, appreciating nature, and nurturing your mind. It's a different way of looking at things, but it might just be the key to unlocking a happier life. When it comes to spending money, being smart is key. Not everything with a fancy label is actually a good buy, as Epicurus would tell you. Some things might seem super cool at first, but that excitement fades fast. Epicurus suggested focusing on the little things in life that bring lasting happiness. It's about finding joy in simplicity, not needing a ton of stuff to feel good. Think about it this way. Imagine a delicious meal shared with loved ones, a walk in nature, or a good book. These simple pleasures can bring a lot of happiness, and they don't cost a fortune. On the other hand, buying the latest gadget might give you a quick thrill, but it probably won't make you happy for long. Epicurus' message is that true wealth isn't measured in dollars and cents. It's about appreciating the simple things, and surrounding yourself with the people and experiences that truly matter. This might sound strange at first, but it's a philosophy that's been around for ages, and it could be the secret to a happier life. Science backs up the idea that experiences trump possessions when it comes to happiness. Studies show that people tend to get more lasting joy out of adventures and experiences than they do from material things. Imagine the difference between a fancy new phone and a trip to a place you've always dreamed of visiting. The phone might be exciting at first, but that feeling fades quickly. On the other hand, the memories you create on that trip, exploring new sights, trying new foods, and soaking up the culture, will stay with you forever. Experiences become part of who we are, woven into the fabric of our lives. They add richness and depth to our stories, unlike a pile of stuff gathering dust in the corner. So, next time you're thinking about spending money, consider putting it towards an experience that will create lasting memories, not just another thing for your closet. Forget fancy cars and the latest gadgets. The real key to happiness might be giving, not getting. Studies show that helping others actually makes us happier too. It's not just about making someone else's day, it feeds our soul and makes us feel connected to something bigger than ourselves. Think about it. Donating to a cause you care about, helping a friend in need, or even just paying for the coffee of the person behind you in line, these acts of generosity create a ripple effect of good vibes. You're not just making someone else's life a little better, you're getting a happiness boost yourself. It's more than just material possessions. Giving fosters a sense of purpose and connection that money can't buy. You become part of something bigger and contribute to the world in a positive way. So next time you're looking for a happiness pick-me-up, try helping someone out. You might be surprised at how good it makes you feel. Ever wonder if a bigger bank account equals a bigger smile? It's a tricky question with tons of conflicting advice. But here's the secret. True wealth isn't about stockpiles of stuff, it's about having a heart overflowing with kindness. For centuries, wise folks have been saying this very thing. They preach humility, compassion, and listening to your inner voice, not the loud voices of advertisers trying to sell you the next must-have gadget. It's by blending the wisdom of these great thinkers with your own gut feelings that you'll find your true path. So, ditch the idea that happiness comes with a hefty price tag. Real happiness comes from having a rich inner world, filled with love and connection. Money, money, and money. We all wonder if it's the key to happiness. But here's the surprising truth. True wealth isn't measured in dollars and cents. It's about having a rich heart, filled with love, compassion, and strong connections with others. Thinkers throughout history have been saying this for ages. They encourage us to be humble and kind, to follow our inner voice instead of chasing after fancy things we see advertised. So, what really guides us? It's a combination of the wisdom of these great thinkers and our own intuition. In the end, the size of our bank accounts doesn't define who we are. It's the depth of our feelings, the love we share, and the strong bonds we build with others that truly matter. Let's walk through life with kindness and grace. Focus on what makes your heart sing, not on how much money you have in your wallet. Pursue experiences, connections, and acts of generosity. These are the things that bring lasting happiness and fulfillment, and they're within reach for everyone. I am Ryan.